Strike and want to survive. Hundreds of middle school teachers in Jiangxi province protest for unpaid salaries. Spate of looting incidents rock Henan province, a glimpse into ethical decline under CCP rule. Zhongnanhai confidential, senior officials under tight surveillance, service personnel all spies. Who will be the next Keqiang? CCP suddenly changes its stance towards Micron as foreign capital continues to exit China. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Strike and want to survive. Hundreds of middle school teachers in Jiangxi province protest for unpaid salaries. Based on online reports, on the evening of November 2nd, hundreds of teachers from Jiangxi First Middle School and Jiangxi Second Middle School in Nanchang, Jiangxi province, gathered at the entrance of the Jiangxi County government to protest delayed salary payments by both the school and the government. In the videos, under the cover of darkness, a large group of teachers gathered in front of a government building, shouting slogans like "We want to survive," "We want to live," "Give us our hard-earned money," and "We can't go on like this." The chants of strike were a constant presence. Additionally, several individuals who appeared to be leaders stood in front of the crowd, engaging in what seemed like communication. According to the Vision Times, in Jiangxi's Jiangxi County, teachers are receiving a meager monthly salary of just 1,900 yuan, approximately $260.27. Shockingly, the Jiangxi County government has been delaying performance-based bonuses for these teachers for 2 decades, splitting the 2021 bonus into 2 parts and falsely accounting for it as both the 2021 and 2022 bonuses. The overall monthly salary for 2022 has also been delayed extensively. Frustrated teachers are demanding fairness, a guaranteed salary, and the means to survive. After these videos circulated online, netizens anticipate that such unexpected events will become more prevalent. Some are questioning whether authorities will prioritize stabilizing the situation in memory of Keqiang or focus on stabilizing the school teachers. Some even suggest that after strikes and protests, the removal of the authoritarian figure Xi Jinping should follow. They draw parallels to financial instability, a common phenomenon preceding the decline of dynasties throughout history. According to some netizens, this situation is likely to erupt nationwide and spread to other urban areas and industries. Smaller strikes are expected to occur at the end of the year, followed by more significant ones next year, with an increasing number of people joining the ranks of those seeking fair wages and rights. Some netizens also emphasize that these teachers are being used as pawns by the authoritarian regime. In addition, some netizens pointed out that many regions are grappling with financial hardship and wage arrears. Financial difficulties are not unique to one location, and they suspect that this issue has persisted for an extended period. They express a desire for government officials to be candid about the financial constraints and admit that the government's intention is not to delay salary payments but rather a result of financial constraints. A netizen who regularly comments on Chinese news predicts that if the nationwide chain reaction is linked to Keqiang's death, it could lead to significant consequences. They foresee a burst in the real estate market, a banking crisis, and various financial crises. This may result in real estate refugees and financial refugees, as well as individuals owed wages, facing layoffs, and becoming refugees themselves. They also mention those who have been unemployed since the 3-year pandemic and now struggle to make ends meet. If all these groups unite and protest, it could lead to a tumultuous situation. Spate of looting incidents rock Henan province, a glimpse into ethical decline under CCP rule. Recently, a series of looting incidents have occurred in Henan province. On an overseas social media platform, Truth Media, a video was shared reporting an incident in Zhou, Henan. The video depicted numerous villagers carrying various containers and bags as they rushed into medicinal herb fields. They used tools to dig up and collect the herbs from the land, and the shouts of a man attempting to stop them proved ineffective. An elderly woman sat in the field, crying out in despair, uttering the words, "My home." Later, it became evident that the police had arrived at the scene. the medicinal herb fields belonged to a woman in the village, and her family explained that they had been struggling with farming debts for several years. This year, as they were finally starting to see some improvements, their children couldn't even get enough to eat, leading them to borrow money. The villagers were taking the herbs to sell for profit, offering them at 6 yuan, approximately 82 cents, per kilogram, while the woman had been selling them for 9 or 10 yuan per kilogram, about 123 to 137 US dollars. According to an informed source, after a recount, their own medicinal herbs were taken, amounting to approximately 20,000 kilograms, resulting in a loss of nearly $200,000. While hundreds of villagers in Henan were observed snatching medicinal herbs, the official statement denied the incident. This incident has generated numerous comments from netizens, raising questions such as, who transformed these once simple and kind grassroots people into unruly mobs? Remnants of the Cultural Revolution. Barbaric. Frequent incidents like this are a bad omen. I won't blame them because they don't even know what they are doing. It's not an isolated case. On November 4th, a video shared online depicted a scene from November 3rd in the fields of Nanyang, Henan. In the video, a team of combined harvesters is seen working in the fields, while a group of local villagers follows closely, rushing to collect sorghum. According to the individual who posted the video, their sorghum crop, which they had planted, was being seized by a group of local villagers. The video captures a female farmer's outburst of anger as she vehemently scolds the villagers, accusing them of being shameless. Within the crowd of individuals engaged in the sorghum snatching, one female villager retorts by saying, "You're the one who's shameless." Netizens voiced their concerns, expressing that they're witnessing a troubling trend of theft and looting becoming a routine occurrence, saying it's a shame that we hear about people from different parts of Henan being involved in theft every day. In some areas, entire villages are caught up in theft and robbery. In other places, entire villages are implicated in the trafficking of women and children, and in some regions, entire villages are involved in drug production and trafficking. As previously reported, last month, during the 2023 Central Plains Lost Pipe Music Festival in Nanyang, Henan, campers experienced collective theft at the hands of local villagers. Stolen items included tents, sleeping bags, camping vehicles, winter clothing, Apple iPhones, tablets, bank cards, cash, and more. Former Beijing lawyer Li Jianping told the Epoch Times that these theft incidents aren't confined to Nanyang alone but represent a broader issue within Chinese society. He attributed the root cause to values instilled by the Communist Party and the overall societal atmosphere it has cultivated. Li continued to emphasize that the CCP deceives and robs citizens daily, with individuals at various social strata engaging in wrongful acts. He pointed out the herd mentality among grassroots citizens and highlighted that the belief that the law does not penalize the masses has emboldened these behaviors. Local law enforcement often turns a blind eye, indirectly encouraging people to cheat and rob one another. Zhongnanhai Confidential, senior officials under tight surveillance, service personnel all spies. In the context of the passing of former Chinese Premier Li Keqiang, Wang Huntao, a political scholar currently living in the United States and an alumnus of Peking University alongside Li Keqiang, revealed insider information about Zhongnanhai in an interview with the Epoch Times on November 2nd. He indicated that retired high-ranking CCP officials are under close surveillance and that their aides are being replaced with secret agents. Recently, the Nikkei Asian Review quoted sources alleging that retired senior Chinese Communist Party leaders held a private meeting before the Beidai Conference, led by Xing Qinghong, with Li Keqiang's participation. The meeting aimed to criticize policy errors by Xi Jinping. Wang Huntao expressed skepticism about the news authenticity. To his knowledge, retired CCP leaders do not have the opportunity to convene private gatherings. However, he does believe that Li Keqiang was indeed eliminated. He said, all central senior cadres are under soft detention. Their secretaries, security personnel, communicators, drivers, chefs, and aides are all secret agents. They enjoy more spacious living conditions compared to those under strict surveillance, but they are required to document everyone they meet due to security protocols. Ultimately, security is not about ensuring safety, it has become a formality. Wang Huntao's father held a high-ranking position in the CCP military. He explained, "At my father's rank, all activities had to be reported." He was a high-ranking military officer, and for cadres at or above the rank of a high-ranking military officer, their movements are monitored, and they must report them. This applies to individuals like Li Keqiang, Qi Haoyan, and Zheng Qinghong. Wang also mentioned that in the past, Yi Jianying and Deng Xiaoping used their children to facilitate interactions because direct communication wasn't possible. Wang cited an example, recalling an encounter between retired veterans Tian Jiyun and Hu Qili during a walk in Beidei. They exchanged a few words but couldn't speak at length due to the constraints. He stressed that after the 20th Congress, Xi Jinping's rule became absolute, and retired high-ranking officials were unable to convene private meetings. About Li Keqiang, Wang Huntao expressed his belief that Li Keqiang indeed offended Xi Jinping and consequently met his end. One notable incident involved the circulation of a video of Li Keqiang at the Mogao Caves in Dunhuang, following the conclusion of this year's Beidei conference on August 31. This video gained traction on various Chinese social media platforms but was later removed by the authorities. Wang Huntao stated that he personally knows Li Keqiang to lack ambition, political aspirations, or even political competence. He did not pose a direct threat to Xi Jinping. However, the act of sharing that video, seen as an expression of hope in Li Keqiang, essentially amounted to a protest against Xi Jinping. Furthermore, Li Keqiang's expressed intention to return to teaching worsened the situation, as it would place him in close proximity to large crowds, ultimately leading to his removal. Who will be the next Li Keqiang? Li Keqiang's sudden death in Shanghai, while supposedly resting, is widely believed to be the result of political assassination, rather than the official claim of a sudden heart attack while swimming at the Dongjiao State Guest Hotel, an explanation that proved ineffective in rescue efforts. His death has brought to the forefront the ruthless nature of power struggles within the CCP. This event has led to widespread speculation about who might become the next Li Keqiang in the ongoing power struggle within the CCP. According to the Sound of Hope, abroad, there are individuals within the CCP who oppose Xi Jinping personally but remain loyal to the party itself. They have placed their hopes on figures like Li Keqiang or Wang Yan. The fear is that if Xi Jinping were overthrown without a clear successor, it would lead to chaos within the CCP, and the entire Communist Party system could crumble. However, with Li Keqiang's sudden death, the lifeline desperately held onto by these pro-party factions has been abruptly severed. The spotlight has now turned to Wang Yan. Wang Yan, one of the 4 vice premiers of China in Li Keqiang's cabinet between 2013 and 2018 and who is seen as Li Keqiang's successor, is considered to be the most vulnerable figure, both in terms of his life and his assets. People are asking whether Wang Yan will be targeted next. They are also questioning whether Xi Jinping's extensive purge will reach his close associates. Will this brutal internal struggle result in loyal supporters of Xi Jinping, such as Kai Chi, also turning against him? Shi Shan, in the Elite Forum, has explained the reason why Wang Yan is the most vulnerable figure following Li Keqiang's death. This is partly because Wang Yan is associated with the Youth League and is relatively new to the central stage. He is also considered a member of the so-called Reform and Opening Up faction. A distinctive aspect of Wang Yan is his propensity to be outspoken. During his tenure in Chongqing, he engaged in a debate with Bo Xilai, who advocated for a fair distribution of resources, emphasizing common prosperity. In contrast, Wang Yan argued for prioritizing economic development before addressing wealth distribution, which is in direct conflict with Xi Jinping's common prosperity ideology. Wang Yan can be considered aligned with Deng Xiaoping's Reform and Opening Up faction and an active thinker within the Youth League. He advocated reducing government control, fostering civil society growth, and allowing the market economy to operate more independently. His ideological alignment was closer to Li Keqiang and ran counter to the policies promoted by Xi Jinping. Given this, there are indeed valid reasons for Xi Jinping not to further employ him. Online rumors suggest that both Wang Yang and Hu Chunhua are currently subject to official investigations, hinting at possible house arrest or confinement. The power struggles within the CCP are undeniably harsh, marked by intense contests between individuals. Whether Wang Yang emerges unscathed or becomes a target, following in Li Keqiang's footsteps, remains uncertain. The ultimate outcome hinges on Xi Jinping's discretion, whether he extends a lifeline or deals a decisive blow, as he holds the authority. Will Xi Jinping eliminate Wang Yang? CCP suddenly changes its stance towards Micron as foreign capital continues to exit China. Amid a sluggish Chinese economy and unpredictable regulatory crackdowns, foreign companies continue to withdraw their investments. In this context, on November 3, Chinese Minister of Commerce, Wang Wentao, held a meeting with Sanjay Mehrotra, the president and CEO of Micron Technology Inc., a U.S. semiconductor company. During the meeting, Wang Wentao expressed that China welcomes Micron Technology to continue rooting itself and deepening its cultivation in the Chinese market, assuring that China would improve the investment environment for foreign companies and provide them with service guarantees. It's noteworthy that Micron Technology holds a significant position as the United States' leading manufacturer of storage chips, semiconductors, and is one of the top 3 players in the global DRAM memory chip market, alongside South Korea's tech giants, Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix. Prior to May 21, the CCP took a bold step by imposing a ban on Chinese critical information infrastructure operators from purchasing Micron chips, citing concerns about cybersecurity. This decision is widely seen as a retaliatory response to the United States' restrictions on the CCP's access to critical chip products and technology. Additionally, the Chinese Cyberspace Administration, CAC, had previously enacted a ban on Micron chips 6 months ago, citing potential serious network security issues related to Micron's products, though specific details were not disclosed. In response to the CCP's ban, Mark Murphy, Micron's chief financial officer, announced that, based on the company's current assessment, the ban had only a negligible impact on the company's overall revenue. Last October, the United States implemented the most substantial chip restriction measures in its history against the CCP, and on October 17 this year, these measures were further intensified. On that day, the Biden administration disclosed its plans to halt the supply of advanced artificial intelligence chips designed by companies like NVIDIA to China. It also added 2 Chinese chip designers, Morthread and Biren, to a blacklist. As geopolitical tensions persist and the Chinese economy faces challenges, the CCP's regulatory crackdowns continue to be unpredictable, leading to a continuous withdrawal of foreign investments from China. Just a few days before the CCP officially declared the ban on Micron chips, Micron revealed its intentions to invest up to 500 billion Japanese yen, approximately $3.7 billion, in Japan for the development of extreme ultraviolet chip technology. This move positions Micron as the first chip manufacturer to introduce extreme ultraviolet technology to Japan. Despite the potential short-term benefits of the CCP's ban for Micron's primary competitors, such as South Korea's Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix, the Financial Times reported on April 23 that the White House had already requested the South Korean government to encourage South Korean chip manufacturers not to fill any gaps in the Chinese chip market in case Micron was banned from selling chips in China. This is another indication of the United States uniting with its allies to counter the economic coercion imposed by the CCP. Significantly, on Friday, China's State Administration of Foreign Exchange announced a reduction of $11.8 billion in direct investment liabilities in China's international balance of payments during the third quarter. This marks the first instance of this key foreign investment indicator concerning China's international balance of payments displaying a negative value since records began in 1998. This serves as a reflection of the decreased eagerness of foreign companies to reinvest their profits within China. Therefore, the CCP currently regards international corporate investment as a vital driver of economic upgrading and has intensified its efforts to attract foreign investors this year. In June, CCP leader Xi Jinping held a meeting with Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates in Beijing. As Wang Wentao and Mehrotra met on Wednesday, it appeared that recent tensions between Washington and Beijing had somewhat eased. The Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation (APEC) summit is scheduled to take place later this month in San Francisco, with officials from both countries working to facilitate a meeting between U.S. President Joe Biden and CCP leader Xi Jinping during the summit. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.